The Omnis and the Kawhi, these are both basketball sneakers by New Balance, both worn by Kawhi Leonard. They have some very interesting parallels, but they're more different than they're alike, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. If you're down with that, let's do it. DJ, roll that intro. Hey everybody, what's up, how's it going? My name is Sean, thanks for being here. Welcome back. You must have seen my other two videos of the same sneaker. We're once again going to cover the Kawhi 4 bounces. Can't get enough of the sneaker. I did an unboxing video, well, it was sort of a release day vlog video with first impressions with my buddy Mark Chess. There's another video where we talked about the secret messages and hidden meanings behind some of the details of the Kawhi 4 bounces. And in this video, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about the notable differences between the Omnis, the first New Balance basketball sneakers that Kawhi wore. This isn't his signature sneaker, by the way, okay? And we're going to talk about, the differences between the Omnis and the 4 bounces, okay? So in our attempts to be as thorough as possible in discussing the differences between both sneakers, we're going to start from the top, okay? We're going to do the boxes first. This white box right here is the Kawhi Leonard signature box. That's simply white with squiggly patterns all around that represent earthquake maps, because when Kawhi signed with the Clippers, there was an earthquake. If you're interested in that detail and many others, there's another video. I'm going to put the link out in the description. I'm going to put it on the end screen, and we're going to talk about the secret messages and hidden codes on the Kawhi 4 bounces, okay? NB logo done in black with Kawhi signature in gold, okay? It's Kawhi's signature box. This is the Omnis box. Simple, no nonsense. That's simply red over here. Not the band, but the color is simply red. New Balance, NB logo right here on top, done in white. And NB, just minimal New Balance branding on the front and on the sides, okay? Let's talk about the tissue paper, because Kawhi's tissue paper has Kawhi in it. Oh, let's do the underflap first. This one has New Balance Kawhi signature, because the sneaker is simply called Kawhi Signature, and you have Kawhi's signature, actual signature, over there. And the Kawhi tissue paper has Kawhi branding on it. And the Omnis is just a simple brown box inside with your simple generic NB tissue paper. The rest of the inside is quite a mess because I stuffed all sorts of things in here. We're done with the box. Let's do the names, guys. This is called the Kawhi signature, as I mentioned, and this is called the Omnis. Let's talk about the Omnis and why it's called the Omnis in the first place. It's spelled OMN, the number 1, and S. So it's a word, it's an actual word, Omnis. It's a Latin word, it means all. It sort of means everything, it means one. Because the mindset behind creating the Omnis was that New Balance wanted to create a basketball sneaker for everybody. This is a positionless basketball sneaker. Get it? So Kawhi wore this, Darius wore this, DeJounte wore this. So this is kind of a team sneaker. This is exclusively Kawhi, and there are data points in the shoe on the upper, which we're going to discuss a little later. There are stitch patterns that are very Kawhi. These are tailored for Kawhi. So you got the name covered, Kawhi signature, Omnis. Let us now go to the containment department. So we're going to talk about the uppers and the differences between these sneakers. Okay, let's start with the Kawhis over here. The upper is put together by a process called Kinetic Stitch. Okay, Kinetic Stitch is it's a data-driven thread application, according to New Balance. And I imagine the way they did this is that they took an image of Kawhi's foot and put different data points. They captured Kawhi's foot in motion, something like that, and they stitched it and put seams on the places that matter. So it's called something, it's called Kinetic Stitch. Now on to the uppers of the Omnis, okay? The upper of the Omnis is called Fit Weave. Yep, it's called something, another proprietary New Balance upper methodology / technology. So that's Fit Weave. And the idea was to create a singular booty-like upper. Don't get me wrong, they have seams in several places, but they're kind of held together. And the concept was to create a singular booty upper. And I believe they've achieved that. And because they did that, the result was a light sneaker. And in terms of weight, by the way, I'm kind of jumping the gun, okay? These are much lighter than the Kawhis. And still on containment, let's talk about the lacing systems. Both have a traditional lacing system, a somewhat traditional lacing system. I'm gonna hold that close to the camera so you can see the differences. Okay, so this has some kind of a flat, close to your foot lacing system, talking about the Kawhis, but the Omnis are a little different in that aspect because you have these claws, quote-unquote claws. This is the closest thing that Kawhi has gotten to anything that resembles a claw, okay, because he can't use claw after he left Nike. So these claws are the ones that hold the laces together. These serve as the eyelets, okay? These are individually placed on either side of the sneaker, so they're kind of elevated. And this is flat. And to cover the last few components of the uppers and their differences, take a look at the tongues. Okay, the Kawhi's tongue is obviously thicker than the Omnis tongue. And this is more of a tongue, if you know what I mean. This has more of a traditional look and feel versus the Omnis, okay? The Omnis has an ankle collar, right? So when you tighten the laces on the first two holes, you sort of lock your ankle down. The Kawhi does not have that, but it does have a high first eyelet as well, so ankle containment will not be an issue, I imagine. I haven't played in these yet, so we're really yet to find out if these work to that expectation on a performance basis, okay? And speaking of the collars here, I have the sneakers side by side. The Omnis does look higher, but really what you're seeing is only the extension on the ankle right here. It's the ankle rest that kind of extends upward, but they're fundamentally the same height. Okay, ankle-wise, they're the same height. Let's now go to the heel, and they're really different in this area. The heel on the Kawhi has a heel cup. This has some kind of heel support, but it's not exposed and it's not as formidable as the Kawhi's. This thing is tough and it will hold your foot in place as you cut and as you stop. Not that this won't, but you just have more ankle and heel support on the Kawhi's. Both sneakers sit on fuel cell. This is the New Balance foam technology, which they started to use with their runners. Very successful foam technology, and they're using that on their basketball sneakers. So this is fuel cell. This is fuel cell. But one notable difference here is that the Kawhi rides higher than the Omnis. You'll get more ground feel here than on the Kawhi's. So we now go underneath and we're going to check out the outsoles and how they're different. Okay, let's start with the Kawhi's. This has a translucent outsole. Well, this particular colorway, the 4 ounces colorway, has a translucent outsole, and the other Kawhi sneakers that Kawhi has worn would have solid rubber outsoles. So it's not all translucent outsoles, okay? So let me just be clear. And the traction pattern on the Kawhi's are done in the form of the earthquake maps, as I mentioned. And these, I'm sure, will bite the floor pretty well because they're nicely spaced and they look like they have good bite to it, okay? I'd like to bring your attention to this gold thing over here, the gold and black thing. That is the full-length performance plate. It's a stability shank, okay? And that's full length. Now onto the Omnis. You have your traditional sort of a warped herringbone pattern, multi-directional herringbone pattern on the Omnis. Okay, this is solid rubber, this particular colorway. This is the Fun Guy Returns colorway, by the way. Very hard to find, certainly not available in the Philippines. It's a pride point for me when it comes to Omnis because all the other Omnises, Omni, are on sale, okay? And you won't find this just anywhere. I'm gonna take another Omnis to give you a better picture of what's underneath the outsole. So you see this sort of fork-like thing, right? That is your stability rod, stability shank for the Omnis. And what we have here on the Kawhis would be more, I would guess, performance. You just know this is going to perform better in terms of energy return and stability versus this, because this has a bigger shank plate. But as I mentioned, I have yet to play in them, so we don't know for sure. Okay, that's it, I guess, for our little head-to-head over here. Two New Balance basketball sneakers, the Omnis and the Kawhis. Now, if you're gonna ask me which sneaker is better, I can't give you a definitive answer, guys. I think it would be irresponsible and a little bit premature to judge the Kawhis, because I haven't played in them. I haven't even worn them. Well, I've put them on feet, but I haven't really walked in them yet, right? And I'm gonna be a little bit biased towards the Omnis because these are my favorite basketball sneakers ever. Okay, I got 3 pairs of Omnis, and I've played in them, and they just fit me perfectly. You know, it just suits me when it comes to stride and how my heel hits the ground and everything else, and they look great. These, to me, right now, I'm judging it just based on this head-to-head, just holding it on hand and looking at the components and how they're heavy and how they're layered and how they're textured. Definitely a pretty sneaker, but I've yet to play in them, okay? But I'm gonna give you my answer anyway right now, just based on what we've seen and what we've heard and what I've felt and probably smelt. I'm going with this, okay? But I'm not knocking this down totally because I've yet to play in them. I'm like a broken record. Do not judge a sneaker immediately if you haven't really tested them out thoroughly, okay? So that's it. Let me know if you have questions. These, by the way, are no longer available, so good luck looking for a pair. Just get on StockX. These go for $160, and this is $140. Well, not this particular pair because they're kind of hard to find already, but they're $140 and $160. On the secondary market, they're close to $200, so good luck looking for it. So you guys always be safe. That's it for the video. I'll see you next time.